All right, so let's go ahead and sit up straight and tall. And just take a moment to drop down into the centering of your body. And with the eclipse last night, this shadow that passes over, try to find inside what's hidden, what's in the shadows. And it could be some part of your body that you're kind of just ignoring or not paying strong attention to. It could be an unconscious pattern of your mind that you're trying to open up like a book and take a look at. So let's use this energy of the eclipse last night and dive in. Sometimes it's hard to know the shadow because if we can't see it, it's hard to know what we can't see. All right, so drop your awareness, center yourself. See if you can reach into the sound and feeling of the breath. That slow ujjayi breathing, letting ourselves become at peace, present with this moment. Notice your posture. Is there any way that you could settle with a little bit more space, stability, and ease? And there's all sorts of ways to do shadow work in many, arenas. But for our practice today, let's bring our awareness to the back of our body, which is often we're not very aware back there as much as we are in the front. So as you're sitting here, let's pay attention. See if you can drop down, let the shoulder blades sink. Feel into the way the shoulder blades are, like little paddles on the back that are supportive, like two hands that can support us from behind. Just notice what's there. Feel the space between the base of the skull, traveling all the way down to the base of the tail. And then when you're ready, place the hands together at the heart and try not to sink forward as you bow. Stay connected with the shoulder blades on the back of the body. You don't have to grip or tense, just aware. Bow in and create an intention. Maybe it has something to do with the energy of the clips and kind of working with the shadow, maybe not. And then let's release the hands. All right, so we're going to come find ourselves on our mat. So lie down. So reach your body, your arms overhead, and feel into the length of your body. Stretch the right side, stretch the left side, and just enjoy being inside your body. Open things up. All right, then bring the knees into the chest and let's rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. Okay, nice and gentle. Just feel what the back of your body feels like as it's rocking. All right, and then let's circle the knees, moving one direction. And moving another direction. All right, let's open up the knees and bring them back in. Okay, just feel into that sense of awareness of what you have moving in the body. Bring your right knee into your chest, stretch your left leg long on the floor, and feel into the length of your spine here. Feel free to move your feet around, get them woken up. Let the head be heavy, so we're not trying to lift anything off the floor. All right, give the other knee a little squeeze. Left knee and right leg comes long. Feel the movement through your calves, through your shins as you move your feet around. Feel a good compression and a good extension. All right, bring your other knee back in one more time. Rock and be gentle. Feel into the sacrum, maybe a couple more circles if that feels nice. And then we're going to open up, spread out your limbs, reaching outward, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Then exhale, knees into your chest, pick up your head. Let's do that twice more, opening your body out. Exhale, drawing your body in. Feel that your body moves with breath, that the breath is our guide to keep us present. It's the filter through which we can deeply come into interoception, that sense of knowing our inner body. Go ahead and put your feet on the floor, roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. All right, so let's move through some cat-cows, some arching and rounding of spine. Taking your time to feel into the ease, what's here. Now, if we're going to be working our awareness a little bit greater, kind of cultivating awareness in the back body, start feeling that here. What does it feel like to have the shoulder blades spread apart? What does it feel like to have the shoulder blades move toward each other? Do you have a nice sensation when you arch your back and round your spine? Is there anything that hurts you that you feel vulnerable in? And then start moving around any way you want to move. You can roll around in your hips or sway, move your shoulders and your neck. Try not to attach to any pattern of movement, but let your body be free. And then stretch back towards child's pose, hips toward the heels. Walk the hands out in front of you quite far. Reach them so that only your finger pads can touch the ground. Suck up under your palm and lift it off the ground. The whole underbelly of the arm lifts slightly. Breathe. Now pull back a little bit. So with your finger pads on the ground, pull back toward your legs a little bit. Just feel some of the work in your torso. And then relax and melt that. Walk the hands over to one side or the other, opening up the rib cage, stretching through the side. Remember to relax the back of your head, the base of your skull, and the front of your head too. So your eyes get to soften and ease. And then walk your hands over to the other side, stretch and lengthen. Relax your forehead. Soften your body weight down, melt the base of your skull. All right, and then come back, come onto all fours. All right, and then let's move the spine around any way you want. One more time, just finding some freedom. And then let's lift the left arm up in the air. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and slide that shoulder under. Feel into the openness across your shoulder blades. Melt the base of the skull and melt your whole skull. Whatever's weighted on the ground, let it go. Breathe into the back of the body. And then inhale, lift that arm all the way up. Hand down onto the ground, second side. Arm lifted. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, slide that shoulder under. Deep inhale, deep exhale. All right, and then reach that arm all the way back up. Hand down onto the ground, and let's find our first dog pose. So let's enjoy, pedal your feet, just kind of get this pose open a little bit. You can move around, you can weight into one hand and then weight into the other hand. You can move your hips, you can move your head. So just find any type of awareness and awakeness that you want to cultivate in your dog pose. And then once you get a little bit more steady, where you can be just a bit more still, notice where the weight is in your hands, even it out across the base of your hands. Feel a sense of hugging the hands toward each other, and let this feeling kind of penetrate into the lats and onto your back a little bit. See what you can feel. Relax the base of the skull. Once you have that stability of your hands, lift the heart, lift it up toward the pelvis. And feel how your shoulder blades move, that there's length in your spine. There's a sense of freedom in your shoulders, hopefully. Lift the sit bones high, femur bones high, stretch them back, open up the toes, stay in the breath. All right, and then walk forward, come into Uttanasana. Feet are hip width apart. You can bend your knees as much as you want. Relax the head, let the base of the skull be easy and gentle. Halfway lift, the spine gets longer, thigh bones back, lift your shins. Exhale and melt again. Drop your seat, lift your chest, and rise up. Come to stand. If you're ever dizzy, just pause in the center for a moment. You don't always have to lift your arms right away. When you're ready, open up and lift up, lean back a little bit. Start to feel an awakeness in the muscles along your spine. Feel as though there's little race cars driving those muscles down the back a little bit, right along your spine. Okay, let's cactus open. The chest is broad and free. And then reach the arms up. We're going to imagine that we have a lat pull down bar, one of those bars that has weights on it. So drop some weight. Pull down, feel the sense of stability in your lats. Okay, if you don't know where your lats are, they're these broad muscles. They touch all the way down. Keep doing that a couple more times. They touch all the way down onto your pelvis and your sacrum, and they kind of are like wings on the sides and the back of the body. Let's try one more time. So when we do this action, we're engaging the lats. So feel the back and the sides engage. And then release your hands down. Shake out your wrists for a moment. Flip your palms up to face toward the sky. And keep your elbows, you don't have to hug them, you don't have to pull them into the body, but have them next to you. Chest is broad, collarbones wide. We're going to open out our palms out to the sides and just feel what's acting alive in the back of your shoulders right now. Hold this for a moment. Pull your hands as far back as they will go. Relax your neck. Make sure the base of your skull is easy. Feel the stability of your legs. Okay. And then we're going to relax that. And let's do a few. So we're just opening out and then bringing yourself back. Okay. Breathe as you do this. Start to feel into the back side of your shoulders. What are you feeling here? What is the sensation? What is your range of motion? Do you have one arm that can go further than the other? So just pay attention. This is working the back side of the rotator cuff, your infraspinatus and your teres minor. Those are two of the muscles of your rotator cuff that are getting a little bit of flexion here when we pull our hands out. Keep dropping the shoulder blades down. All right, and then relax that. And bring the arms straight out to the side. Palms are facing down toward the ground now. Open up through your sternum, stretch out to the sides. Feel grounded through your feet. A nice Tadasana in your lower body. All right, then when you're ready, flip open the palms while you're here. Notice what changed. And then drop your fingertips toward the ground a little bit. Spread your fingers. Find your breath. Rise up. Arms coming up to the sky. Exhale and fold forward. Relax the spine, melt the head, bend your knees. Inhale for a halfway lift. Get longer in the spine here. Thigh bones come back, spacious in the spine. Exhale, melt and fold. Relax your head, soften. One more time, halfway lift. Feel the back of your legs open. So the back line of our body, that fascial line of the body, starts, at the top of the eyebrows and rolls over our head and down the two sides of our spine, down through our glutes, hamstrings, calves, soles of feet, all the way to the bottom of our toes. So see if you can feel that stretch as we move here. And then exhale and relax. Step your left foot back, right foot's coming forward, coming into a lunge. So feel the crown stretch all the way to the tail and the heel. So that's one long line. Find the breath. And as you're ready, let's go ahead and bend and straighten the front knee. So as you straighten it a bit, feel free to tuck your chin so you can feel that back line energy. All right, then come to a lunge when you're ready. Ground your feet. Stabilize. So feel the roots, give to the earth, let the earth give back. When you're ready, rise up. Now, if the up and down makes you dizzy, always take a little time. You can even put your hands on the blocks with your head up first, and then your hands on your hips if you need, and then up in the air. So take your time if you need your blood pressure to equalize when we go down and up. Find your breath. Cactus, open the arms, feel into the back body here. Press your hands forward. Long spine here. Keep the left arm out in front of you and take your right arm back behind you. Hold into the length of the two arms, the stability in the core, the stability in the back of the body, and then rise up just with that one arm. Your other hand can come on your hip or even reach back to the back of your left leg. Open yourself up, breathing deep, and then exhale. Hands down, back foot comes forward. Fold in Uttanasana, just enjoy the symmetry, relax your skull. Inhale for a halfway lift, the spine is getting longer. Stretch open the bottom of the feet, lift up through your sit bones. See if you can even lift your toes a little bit so you can feel the fullness of that back line. From the toes, wrapping around the Achilles, up the calves, up the hamstrings to the sit bones. Belt and fold, relax your knees, step back with your right foot. Left foot is now forward, coming into a lunge. Opening the chest here. And let's go back and forth, bending and straightening that front knee. Breathing deeply. Feel into the back line. All right, so drop some weight into the earth. See if you can rise up. Bring your awareness around yourself. So remember, you can always lean forward a little bit. You can always keep your hands on blocks. You can stay with your hands on your hips to get yourself situated. And then as you're ready, if you ever get there, arms up overhead. So feel into the openness of the heart without compressing into the lumbar spine. Press into the front foot. Start to activate the back line of the body. Deep breaths here. Next inhale, open the chest, cactus those arms out, and then press your hands forward. Find your breath. Keep the right arm up there, left arm comes back. Find that reach through the two arms, press into your front foot, and then rise back up. Maybe hand stays on your hip. Maybe your hand comes, you take a little twist, and your hand comes to the back of your right leg. Open yourself up, breathe here. Deep inhale and exhale. And then relax your hands down to the earth and step back to dog pose. Full back line stretch, feet. You can lift your toes if that helps you feel all the way to the edge of the line. Okay, let's come forward into a plank. Hold yourself, integrate into your core here. Find the stability. See what your shoulder blades are doing. Try not to round your back and pull your shoulder blades apart. Drop the shoulder blades down toward the pelvis. breathing deeply. Hug your hands toward each other so you invigorate some of the more muscles in your torso. And the knees can come down and lower yourself to the floor. Roll the shoulders a few times up toward ears, up toward the sky and back. Deep breaths. Inhale, rise up, cobra pose again. Find the breath. Exhale and melt. Let's try twice more. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to melt down. One more time. Shoulders back. Stretch through your legs. Melt and fold. Up and back. Child's pose. And then you can take a little detour on all fours before child's pose if you need to. Find the breath. If your arms are on the ground, you can do this with elbows on the floor. If your arms have a little trouble with that, grab 2 blocks and put your elbows up on 2 blocks. Okay, so you get to decide the width and height that you want to be at. Thumbs toward the spine. Okay, let's start to feel into the triceps, opening up a little bit. Deep breaths. All right, then release that. Take the blocks away. Okay. Bring your forearms forward and lift up to dolphin pose. Okay, so lengthen through your spine here. Reach the heart up toward the pelvis. Round through your hands. You can always take your hands and face them toward each other. You can always hold a block. Feel into the work of the torso here. So we're lifting the heart up toward the pelvis. Feel into the effort of the back body. Get to know that shadow. And then walk your feet back. Come into a forearm plank. Stabilize. So now our core starts to get involved into this. See what it feels like to stabilize 360 around your torso. You can always put your knees down if you need a little bit more support. Shoulders away from the ears. Feel into your core. And then lower yourself back down to the ground. Take your arms next to you, palms facing the floor. Take a deep breath in, and we're going to lift everything up. Arms, legs, head. Feel into the back line of the body. Shoulder blades, bottom tips toward low spine. Feel the support of your core. Breathe. And then exhale and relax. Come up onto all fours. Move your spine about. Okay, so just feel into any kind of movement that feels nice. And then back to child's pose. Decide, this is easy, this is gentle. We're stretching the back line now. So maybe your arms down at your sides for a moment, whatever feels comfortable. Full breaths. When you're ready, go ahead and bring your right foot forward. We're going to keep the back knee on the ground if you can. This is a tricky pose for a lot of people. Let me show this from the side. Okay, so this is not the easiest pose in the world. So if you want to just stay right here, that's fine. If you want to stand up and stretch your quads, that's fine. If you want to use a strap, that's fine. Okay, you can wrap the strap around your foot. So we're going to pick up the left foot, we'll hold it with our right hand, twist in here. Okay, so we're stretching our quadriceps and our hip flexors both. Try not to fall and collapse. Hug in toward the midline with your right leg, ground your big toe, finding the breath. You can always stand up and just do a quad stretch or lay on your side and do a quad stretch. Okay, come back around. Take the other leg back, child's pose. Full breaths here. Come back up. Bring the left foot forward. We're coming into a lunge. Just start by stretching your hip flexor a bit. And then as you're ready, we can turn this into a quadricep stretch. So hand on block or right hand on block or the floor and reach back and grab your foot. If you can't do this, if this is unavailable to you, you can try wrapping a strap around your foot. If your knee doesn't like being on the floor, you can always lie down on your side and stretch your quad this way, or you can stand up and grab onto your foot and stretch your quad that way. So decide which way works for you. Breathing deeply. Finding your shoulders, relaxing them down. All right, and then come out of the pose, back to dog pose. So find your way there. Breathe well. Root through your hands, rise through your spine. Full breaths in and out. Okay, when you're ready, right leg lifts. Engage here. Engage your glutes. Bend your knee just a moment. Okay, and then straighten it out again. Engage the glutes on both sides differently, but they're both engaged. You can pulse a couple of times if you want. And then come down onto your knees. And then up, we're going to do the same thing on the second side. Lift that leg up in the air. So left leg lifted. Pulse a couple times. Turn on your glutes. See what it feels like to feel both sides of your glutes working just differently. And then put that foot down, back onto your knees. Okay. Back to the first side, so right leg is straight back behind you. Okay. You're going to bend your knee and make footprints on the ceiling. So we're lifting our foot up, and we're going to try to pulse a couple of times, like we're making little footprints on the ceiling. Notice what you do to compensate for this. Engage your core, find your breath, and then stretch that leg out, and your other arm comes out in front of you. Deep breath, long spine line. Exhale, elbow and knee underneath. Inhale, bring it on out. Exhale, elbow and knee underneath you. Inhale, bring it on now. Bring it out to the side. Leg, toes pointing toward the floor, thumb up toward the sky. And then back to the center line. And relax for a moment, child's pose. Just let your hips drop back, soothe and soften your breathing, your glutes. Let everything rest for a moment before we do the second side. All right, and then as you're ready, come back onto all fours. Stretch that left leg out behind you. Okay, square up the hips, inner thigh lifting toward the sky. Lift your foot up, so toward your knee is bent at a right angle. Notice if your knee wants to turn out. See if you can keep everything stable, neutral. So the core is engaged here. We're relaxing our neck. Now press a couple of times upward. Feeling your glutes turn on, your hamstring glute synergistically working together. And then straighten that leg and bring the opposite arm up. So our right arm, left leg. Take a deep breath. Exhale, come underneath you. Inhale, bring it on out. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, bring it out. We're coming out to the side. Thumbs up, toes down. Use your core. Arm and leg are away from the midline. Relax your neck. Breathing deep. Back to center, child's pose. Just relax. Relax your legs, relax your spine. Relax your skull. Deep, full breaths. When you're ready, come up to dog pose. Enjoy the stretch through your glutes, your hamstrings, your calves. Anchor the inner hands so the index finger mounds and the thumbs have equal weight to the outside edge of your hand. Hug the hands toward each other. Feel the support along your torso. All right, let's lift right leg up in the air again. Stack open through the hip. Breathe. All right, and then square again. And we're bringing that foot forward to a lunge. Back heel comes down, Virabhadrasana 1. You can have your arms back. You can have your arms out. You can even have your arms forward. Okay, so be where you are. We're slowly going to rise up, round through your 2 feet. Doesn't matter How high, you can do this pose with your hands on your hips. Big full breaths here. Big full deep breaths. We're going to come forward, hands on blocks, lift up into half splits. Extend through the spine here, breathing deeply. And then exhale and squat in, curl in, knee tucks next to knee or under behind me. And then inhale, press through the leg. Engage your glutes and your hamstrings and your spine. Exhale, foot down onto the ground. Melt here, relax your neck. Halfway lift again. Exhale and fold. Rising all the way up. Bring your arms to the sky if it feels comfortable. And relax the hands down. Pause. Feel into the 2 feet. Enjoy the 2 feet onto the ground. Full breaths. Rise up again. Fold forward. We're going to go backwards through this. So come into a half splits on the left. Left leg is up. You can have hands on blocks or the floor. Square up the hips. Lift that hamstring. Engage. Extend through the spine. What's holding you here? Feel the back line. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, tuck in, knee behind knee. Now when we push off, go so slow so you feel your glutes doing the work. It's like a stretch flex all at once. Reach back. Half splits again. Keep lifting your left hip up. Lengthen through your spine. As you're ready, we're going to step back to Virabhadrasana 1. Plant the back heel. Your arms can stay behind you, out in front of you. You can be low. You can have your hands on your hips. However you want to start this. Ground through your 2 feet. Then eventually find your way up. Now you may not come all the way up. You may lean forward the whole time. That's all good. So find what supports the lift of your spine. So use your core to support. Use your legs. Press them into the earth so that the spine is growing long. Our shoulder blades have to move to lift our arms over our head. All right, and then relax and bring your hands down back to dog pose. Deep breaths here. Come forward into a plank. Stabilize. Feel your shoulder blades. Feel the back body. It's not just a core pose and a chest pose, but a back body pose too. Okay, put the knees onto the ground. Find your way to the floor. Stretch your legs here. We're going to lift our elbows back, away from our shoulders, toward our hips, and then keep your body on the floor. Keep your hands off the floor. Lift up so the neck stays long. We're not pulling ourselves up with our head. Feel the shoulder blades move down toward the low back. Breathing deep. Exhale and melt. Turn your head one way or the other. Pick up your feet and just relax. Windshield wipering your knees left and right. All right, and then stretch your legs again. If it's comfortable, bring your arms overhead. They can be a little wider or in line with your shoulders, whatever feels comfortable. Take a deep breath in. We're going to lift left leg and right arm. Find your neck. Let it be easy and gentle. Use your core, your glutes, your spinal muscles. Exhale and melt that back down. Change sides. Keep your neck neutral. Use your core. Feel your glutes turn on. Your hamstrings, the whole back line. Exhale and melt. Everything's going to come up. You can choose a different pathway with your arms. Your arms do not have to be overhead. They can be out to the sides or down. Exhale and melt. Turn your head the other way from how you had it before. Pick up the feet and windshield wiper your knees. Full breaths here. All right, and find your way back. Child's pose. Drop your hips back toward the heels. Deep breath in. Melt away. All right, so dog pose again. And if you're skipping dog poses, you can just come up to stand. Okay? So find your way, however that way is. Enjoy, if you're in dog pose, enjoy the length of the spine, even out the weight in your hands. Relax your neck. And then we're going to walk our feet forward, come into Uttanasana, and rise on up. Okay. Breathing deeply. All right, so right foot is going to come forward, left foot is going to come back. Vira-1, again, we're going to come into Virabhadrasana 3. If you would prefer to come into half splits, that's fine too. So we're going to rise up with our arms, feel into this pose, find your way, ground both feet, use your core, reach up, and then lean forward. Arms can come back behind you. As you're ready, you can hold on to something if you need it. You can have your arms back in Virabhadrasana 3. So we're coming up with lifting that leg in the air. Your arms can be out, your arms can be overhead. So choose a pathway that's right for your body for today. Square hips, engage your core, lift that leg in the air, strong through your glutes and hamstrings and spine. And then a big giant step back. Vira-1 one more time. Walk the back foot forward and pause into Uttanasana. Deep inhale, long exhale. Find your breath. Inhale, arms come overhead, and then exhale. And just relax your glutes for a moment, relax your head. Folding forward. And then drop your seat, rise back up, step your right foot back. Vira-1 on this side. Okay, so come into the legs. You can be leaning forward. Your arms can be down at your sides, out at your sides, or up. Find the pathway that serves you best. Ground both feet, root into the, press that front heel so you're already turning your glutes on. And then we're going to lean forward, choose the pathway of your arms. We're going to hop up onto that one foot, straighten your leg behind you. Now you can be, so when you do this pose, you don't have to be at, parallel to the floor. You can be here. The goal is to not break the spine. We want to have that integration through the whole back line of the body. Breathing your way into the posture, supporting yourself with your core. Both glutes are turned on. Feel all the muscles along your back body. Okay, and then a big giant step back. Maybe your arms come up again. Maybe not. And then hands down, back to dog pose. You can always come onto your knees and just do a cat-cow if you prefer. Round your hands well, root to rise. Come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady, integrate. Shoulders are away from the ears. Find the ground. Okay, your choice of the back bend. Maybe a locust pose, interlace your hands and lift on up. Maybe a cobra, anything you want, really. Deep breaths while you're here and shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale and melt to come down. Turn your head one way or the other. Pick up your feet and windshield wiper them left and right. All right, now grab onto your feet. Actually, let's do frog pose first. Bring your right forearm in front of you and just grab onto your left foot. Now, if you can spin your hand face forward and your elbow up for the traditional variation, that's great. If not, just hold on to the hand or hold on to the foot, however is comfortable for your body. Lengthen through your tailbone toward your knees. Relax that. Change sides, left forearm in front of you to support you. Put your right hand on the top of your foot, grab onto your foot, or spin your fingers toward your toes with your elbow pointing to the sky. Either way, whichever feels good. We're not overarching the back. So you want to have stability in your tailbone, reaching toward the knees, pubic bone lifting. Keep the neck relaxed. And then relax down, hands on forehead or forehead on hands, and go ahead and rock left and right. Now you may be like, okay, that's enough back bending for me. And if that's the case, just come back onto all fours and move around a bit. If you're ready for something more, let's go ahead and grab our ankles now. Flex your feet, open the chest, shoulder blades are moving down the back. Now it's easy to fall, let your ribs and your belly fall. See if you can engage your core, engage your glutes, find the work, and then lift yourself up into Dhanurasana. The back of the neck stays neutral, so we're not pulling our head way back. Have your head be in a nice neutral place. We're not dropping it down either. All right, so use your core, use your glutes, use the muscles along your spine. Breathe. All right, and then exhale. Relax. Turn your head one way or the other and spin your feet left to right. Breathing deeply. Come up onto all fours. Move the spine about. So we're rocking our hips left and right. Do some circles. Spin any kind of movement of your spine. Maybe some cat-cows. So we're just neutralizing after back bending. All right, let's come into pigeon pose. If you need support like I do, take a blanket or whatever you need underneath your hip. Lately, I've been liking it underneath my hip and underneath the thigh of my straight back leg. So you do you as far as the support that you need. Lengthen through your spine. We're going to stay low here. Find your way into the posture. If you want to support your head, which I highly recommend, grab a block. Okay, so organize your legs. Inner spiral your back thigh. Feel we're going to start opening the back line of the body now instead of engaging it. So this is just the beginning to open up the hip a little bit. So start to melt. See if you can melt the torso. Come into your breath. Come on up. I forgot to say, of course, you can do reverse pigeon pose. I hope you all know that. So if pigeon pose is not a good posture for your knee, for your SI joint, for your ankle, for your back, you can always, for your hip, you can always make a different choice and lay on your back and do reverse pigeon. Square up the hips as you come to the second side. Find your legs first before going down, so make sure you're stable. All right, so wide sit bones, lengthen the spine, and have the head be supported so the neck is in a neutral place. Already find your way back up. We're going to come out of the posture. Sit on the edge of that blanket. Grab a strap and come into Paschimottanasana. So I don't know if you can see my feet well enough, but if you take the strap around your feet and then one loop of the strap around each inner foot and then behind the feet, so that the strap is coming back around to the outside of the feet again. This will isolate the feet a little bit so that you don't end up shortening the inseam of your legs. But if you don't have a strap, or it's just one little thing to try. Okay, so I'm up on the edge of a blanket. This helps me anterior tilt my pelvis. So lengthen up through your spine. So we're not going down yet, we're going up. So think up through the spine, ground your femur bones, and then start to move forward. Once you get to your end point, we're going to tuck the chin toward the chest. And just see if you can feel into that whole back line of the body opening here. Breathing well. Stretch through the inner feet. Flex the toes. Round the thighs. Keep the spine spacious so we're not collapsing down. Come on up. Come out of there and come to lie down on your back. Bring your knees to your chest and rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. All right, let's find happy baby pose. Grab onto your feet. So now, the full back line isn't stretching, but we're getting a really good opening in the low back. So just feel into the compression in the hips and the openness in the lumbar spine. Take some breaths. Feel free to move a little bit if you want to move a little bit. All right, relax and put your feet down onto the ground. Take a block, stick it underneath your pelvis at the low or middle or high height, but not if you're high, put 2 blocks. I think for today's purposes, a very low block is best, but if you have a burning desire to go higher, then by all means, just make sure the block is across your sacrum, not just under your tail, not just, you want the length of the block to be parallel to perpendicular to your body so that you're not just under the sacrum, but you're under the pelvis and the sacrum with the support. All right, now see if you can let the back body muscles, your hamstrings, your glutes, your spine, your calves, see if you can let the muscles kind of hang off the bones. Relax what you can. Keep breathing so the body can melt. All right, so let's go ahead. You might need to adjust the block. We're going to bring our knees toward our chest for a moment. Just get a little teeny traction across the sacrum and lumbar spine. And then as you're ready, legs come up in the air. So adjust the block. You might even want to get rid of the block and put a blanket under there, your choice. Or we're just doing leg up the wall without the wall. Now you can take your legs wide. You can take them up. You can bend your knees. You can do whatever feels good. But just have the sense that we're letting gravity support this drawing in toward the pelvis. All the blood from our legs has ease to get back toward our heart, as well as our lymph too. It's a long way to go from your toes to your collarbones, which is where the ducts are that drain your lymph back into your blood. So let's just give our body an assistance, little assistance. Deep breaths here. Bring your knees toward your chest. We're going to bring our feet down onto the ground. Get rid of the block. Lift your body up and rest on the floor. Full breaths here. Full inhale, full exhale. Okay, we're going to lift our hips, scoot them over to the right, bring your knees up and drop them to the left. In the open twist, let yourself really hang out in here and breathe. How do you need support? Do you need support? Is there anything that your body needs to feel structurally sound? Okay, once again, breathing into that sense of the shadow side of the body. That back line, this is just one little practice of kind of feeling into something that isn't always so conscious. But remember, the shadow work is diving into the mind, really, and noticing where our blinders are. Where are we unconscious? Where are the unconscious patterns? Where do we live in the shadows? And how can we bring these unconscious patterns to the light? So our breath is a guide. Interoception, just this ability to be in the body, is a guide. Okay, let's bring our knees back up. Pause in neutral for a moment. Deep inhale. A melty, beautiful, heavy exhale. Let your body weight itself. Scoot your hips over to the left. Bring your knees up and drop them to the right. So as you come into this twist, if you need support in any way, like a block under your knees or shins, something under your shoulder, whatever is needed for support. Enjoy your breath. Melt through your skull. Inhale, lift those knees up. And we're going to come into Shavasana. So this is a gift. Shavasana is as we stretch our body out. If there's anything else you need, do it. But as you stretch your body out, see if you can feel the whole back line of your body resting now. So let the muscles hang off the bones. Feel the weight of your bones, especially through your head. We unconsciously pick our head up a lot. We have neck pain and tension. See what it feels like to melt around your neck, front, back, and sides. The base of the skull is soft and heavy. Deepen the breathing again. As you bring your awareness back from deep places, melt the back body into the floor. Let the back of the head, the backs of the arms, shoulder blades, spine, back of the pelvis, backs of the legs, the heels, everything melts. Let's go. Reach into space or change your position and bring yourself out of Shavasana. However you like to. Make little teeny movements of just your fingers and toes, like big stretches. On to your side. When you're ready, bring yourself to sit. Place your hands together. All right, let's share our awareness, our energy. Send your love and care to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Jenny.